The 2020 capital budget review of the utilities portion of our budget. I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Tomic, that we will be starting on page 12. However, before that, there was some questions that were asked last week. We're going to answer those now. And
Correct.
Ms. Tomic?
Good afternoon. Last week during our presentation, some questions were asked regarding funding sources for the state funds, whether or not they were loans or grants. We also were requested information as to more information on the private revenue side of the budget as you reported. We also had a request from council regarding a list of all the equipment purchases that were proposed to be purchased under the equipment replacement program line item. And we were also requested to provide information of list improvements of the Good Park Golf Course. We have responded to those, and we're distributing the memo with all of those responses for your review. So if you have any questions. Oh, there we go. Thank you. If you have any questions, we're prepared to answer those. If not, we can move forward with the sewer portion of the presentation this afternoon.
Okay, very good. Maybe just ever so briefly, we have the responses here. If you can just kind of like go over them.
So the first question was posed as to the request of the breakdown for the state grants that we get, whether or not those are loans or grants. So in the capital budget, we identified all of the state funding sources. All of those are grants except for the water supply revolving loan account and the water pollution control loan fund. Those are loans. And the OPWC, or the Ohio Public Works Commissions, those could either be grants or loans depending on the type of application we make. But for the most part, all of our state sources are grants. And I believe Councilman Omobian asked that question.
Okay.
Additionally,
Mr. Mobian, did you have
just the rate of interest rate is usually what? Is it real low?
those vary. Most of those are for the CSO.
Mr. Fricker?
Yeah, the rates that we've been getting on our sewer projects have been down below 2%, actually, the last few that we've gotten. So they're at historically low levels.
Okay.
And those are 45-year loans for the most part.
Thank you.
Response number 2 deals with a question regarding, within the budget, we identified a number of private sources and a comparison as to what those rates were compared to 2019 and 2020. So in 2019, the capital budget reflected approximately $3.6 million of private sources. In 2020, we're showing about $8.5 million, and then we also identified the funding sources for those. And I believe Councilman Lombardo asked that question.
Very good, thank you. 3?
Response 3 was an estimate of the proposed equipment purchases for police, fire, and streets. We identified about $1.2 million of GO and about $2 million in income tax 4 funds. So these are the proposed purchases for each of those divisions as they stand right now. They are still evaluating those purchases based on what some information from the operating budget, but all of that will come back to council as a bulk package for fire, police, and streets in the near future.
Right, so there is some within capital. However, a lot of it also is within the operating.
Some of it is within the operating budget as well.
Very good.
But tentatively, this is what we're looking at for the equipment purchases that's going to be coming out of the capital budget.
Out of capital side.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Thank you.
There is another question regarding proposed improvements at Good Park. And talking to service department, we're looking at improving sand traps, improving drainage, improving 2 greens, and renovating the snack bar.
I don't see where I requested we cut down a couple trees on 2 and 16. I think a lot of us will agree that needs to happen. Just joking. I don't see it on here, though. It's not funny. Okay, thank you, everyone. Oh, and there's some information here, reference the breakdown, reference the real estate tax.
Yeah, there was a request, looking at a
yeah.
chart breakdown as to homeowners' property taxes are spent. So we've included two documents regarding that response.
Thank you. And the 10.3 is considered inside millage, correct? You just say yes.
Yes. 10 point,
What do you say?
10.5.
10.5, yeah.
For 19,
But
yes.
that's considered
Yep.
inside millage, right?
Yep.
It's not voted upon by the voters, basically. Very good. Well, then why don't we go ahead and just dive into the utilities? The water and sewer, we'll dive into the water and sewer.
No,
Page
that's the
12.
wrong one, sorry.
Good afternoon. I'm Jenny Hanna with the Akron Engineering Bureau Environmental Division, and I'll be presenting the sewer portion of the projects this afternoon. First project is the Combined Sewer Overflow Real-Time Control Project, which will implement a real-time control system, sometimes described as smart sewers, to monitor and control wet weather storage to optimize operation of the sewer system. The Kelly Conveyance CSO Rack 3 project will upsize the CSO Rack 3 underflow pipe to maximize conveyance and eliminate CSOs in the typical year, along with the Chittenden Green project and the Duane Green project. The Chittenden Green project, CSO Rack 3, will complete construction of green infrastructure at 3 sites in East Akron. Continuing on to page 13. The Cuyahoga Street Storage Facility Rehabilitation Project will make repairs and improvements to the existing Cuyahoga Street Storage Facility. The Duane Green project, CSO Rack 3, will construct green infrastructure at 3 sites in East Akron. The Hazel Storage Basin CSO Rack 1011 project will complete construction of a 4.5 million gallon storage basin to eliminate combined sewer overflows in the Rack 10 and 11 area during the typical year. The Memorial Conveyance CSO Rack 26-28 project will upsize the underflow pipes in the Rack 26 and 28 areas to eliminate overflows in the typical year. This is an integrated planning alternative to the Memorial Storage Basin, and it also included green infrastructure, which was constructed under the Aqueduct Green Streets project. The Euler Conveyance Optimized Alternative Project, CSO Rack 2729, will complete construction to upsize sewers in the Rack 27 and 29 areas to eliminate CSOs in the typical year. The Gorge Sewer Separation, CSO Rack 34 and 35 project, was a project recommended in the integrated planning report for full separation of sewers in the Rack 34 and 35 areas in place as an alternate to the North Side Interceptor Tunnel project. This year, further investigation of this alternative will be completed, and fieldwork survey and inspections will begin this spring. The North Side Interceptor Conveyance project is the replacement and upsizing of the existing North Side Interceptor sewer. This project works in conjunction with the Gorge Sewer Separation project to replace the need for the Interceptor Tunnel project. So field work for this project will also begin this spring. The Ohio Canal Interceptor Tunnel project will complete construction of the Ohio Canal Interceptor Tunnel, which is scheduled to be completed this summer.
Very good. Any questions reference CSOs? Very good. Now, we'll now move into the operation maintenance.
Oh, we have one more. There's just one more project at the end.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm teasing, I'm joking,
Okay.
I'm joking.
The Ohio Canal Interceptor Tunnel Odor Control Study will complete the final design and construction of the necessary odor control facilities on the Ohio Canal Interceptor Tunnel.
That's both
So-
study and design.
The CSO Program Management Team project is the program management, including cost, schedule, and monitoring and reporting required under the city's combined sewer overflow consent decree. The CMOM 5-year cycle is the cleaning and televising of the entire sewer system over a 5-year period, which is a requirement of the consent decree.
What's a CMOM, please?
It's the capacity maintenance operation, capacity management operation and maintenance program. We are starting the first year of our third 5-year cycle. The flow, moving to sanitary sewer systems, the flow monitoring and rain gauges project is a continuation of the collection of rainfall and flow data that's used in modeling and to support the sewer system. The Grand Park Avenue sewer improvements is the design and construction of sewer improvements to increase capacity on Grand Park Avenue to alleviate sewer backups during wet weather events. The Hawkins District improvements is investigation of areas where backups have occurred and the design and construction of recommended sewer repairs. The Mayfield Avenue sewer improvements is lining on Mayfield Avenue and Maplewood Avenue. The Quaker Ridge Pump Station reconstruction project is complete replacement of the existing pump station in Forest Main. Sand Run Road sewer repair is design and construction of an aerial sewer repair adjacent to Sand Run Road near Sand Run Parkway.
We have a question, Mr. Swirsky.
Just on the Mayfield project, could you or someone, I don't know, Mr. Little, elaborate on that a little bit? Because I know there was different things being considered, and this may be the latest. What do you guys plan?
Mr. Little?
Just a little bit of elaboration.
We're lining sewers both on Mayfield and
Lining?
Sanitary and storm, portions of the sanitary and storm, and there's one section of proposed sewer on Maplewood Avenue.
Right, okay, so.
So originally, we were going to excavate down, and
Right.
we re-engineered the project, so we were able to achieve everything with lining. So we are doing some rehabilitation of manholes, so any brick that we remove will be put back. And on Maplewood, I think it is, we are doing some excavation there, but it's not in the brick. It's outside the limits of the brick. So the sanitary and storm sewers will be relined, and any restoration that involved with the brick street will be put back.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Now, starting on page 15, the first 7 projects on this page are sanitary sewer reconstruction projects that make sewer repairs identified during the CMOM televising. The small diameter lining are repairs to 8 to 20 inch diameter sewers. The large diameter lining projects make repairs to 21 inch diameter sewers and larger. The Sevilla trunk sewer reconstruction is completion of the replacement of the Sevilla trunk sewer.
Take your time.
The shoreline pump, excuse me, sorry.
Go ahead, take your time.
It's Akron water, it's okay. I said it's okay.
Excuse me. The shoreline pump station improvements will upsize pumps and make other upgrades to the pump station to support a new residential housing development. And the force main will be realigned.
Where's that at? It's a location.
It's located off Carnegie Avenue along Nesmith Lake.
Gotcha. Very good. Page 16.
The Zurich Road Pump Station Replacement Project will completely replace the existing Zurich Road Pump Station. The Talmadge Master Meter Facility Reconstruction will reconstruct the existing Talmadge Master Meter Facility to be above ground to allow for safety city personnel access. The Brewster Creek NIPSIS plan will complete a non-point source implementation strategy plan, which is a watershed planning document that's needed in order to apply for grant funds. The plan is to develop the document in order to apply for grants for the Brewster Creek restoration. The flood-prone property acquisition is acquisition and demolition of repetitive loss structures located in floodplain or flood-prone areas. Miscellaneous storm sewer improvements is design and construction of miscellaneous storm sewer improvements throughout the city.
Water reclamation?
Yes.
Any questions reference the last portion? Ms. Mobian?
I'm just curious, for a layperson, when you talk about lining, are you talking about inserting something in there or just putting something on the internal wall or what?
Yes, they totally go in, what they do is they'll set up pumps on each end of the sewer, so from manhole to manhole, and they'll pump the sewage around, so they have a dry sewer to work in. Then they'll put a liner in there, and some of it, they inject steam, so it goes and it heats up and it adheres to the inside of the sewer system. So it totally reconstructs the inner lining. It actually acts as you almost have a new sewer, basically, because you're depending on the ground on the outside. Then they'll put a camera or a cutter go in there, and every time there's a connection to that sewer, they cut that out. So they TV it first, everything's marked, and when they go back in, they know exactly where they got to cut out, where those connections are coming into the sewer. So pretty much it totally rehabilitates the sewer.
And it lasts for how long, you said?
Well, I mean, they say that these liners will last up to 50 years.
I'm thinking in terms of something plastic, but it's not plastic.
No, it's not something rigid where you have to actually, jack it in or push it in. No,
Okay.
no.
How long have we been using this, Chris? Oh, I'm sorry, did you have more? How long have we been using this technology? It's been a little while, hasn't it?
Lining these sewers,
It's been a while.
probably 25 years.
I was going to say, it's been a while, so there should be a little bit of data
I mean, you
on
can
it.
imagine all the sewers that we have in some places where it'd be almost impossible, under freeways, under railroad tracks.
Sure.
So this is obviously the best option.
Yeah, but-
Not always, you can't always do it. I mean, if the sewer's collapsed, you can't do it. You have to go in there and you have to open cut it and replace it. So with our CMOM, the TV and inspections, we're identifying these, and the ones that show a defect that could cause an imminent failure, we're going in and we're aligning them.
Right. But having been doing this for a while, it's, there should be a little bit of data out there that we can look at and see if there isn't any failing, so at least we know 20.
Well, not only that, if you look at what our customers' calls are for service, they have dropped dramatically. Okay, so not only a failure of a sewer, but the roots that are coming in or the infiltration.
Right.
By doing this, it's reducing our backups, which are the calls that we receive for service.
Very good. Thank you. Now we're at the water reclamation facility.
The annual plant and pump station renewal is for miscellaneous improvements to the water reclamation facility. The WRF bank stabilization is for stabilization of the Cuyahoga River bank near the water reclamation facility outfall. The WRF BioSep project is construction of a new tank and biological chemically enhanced primary treatment BioSep system to provide treatment of WRF influent flows in excess of 220 mgd. The WRF Headworks improvements is for construction of an upgrade to the Headworks facility, including the screening and grip facilities and replacement of the main outfall sewer over the Cuyahoga River.
Jenny, if it would be better, we can, you're doing a great job, but your voice is,
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I only have two more, so.
Okay.
The WRF process control system replacement is for replacement of the WRF process control system that runs the plant. The WRF step feed phase 2 project is finishing the closeout of the construction for the project that increased secondary treatment to a capacity of 220 mgd.
Very good. Questions reference reclamation? Okay, very good. We'll move on now to distribution.
I'm actually going to present.
Oh, okay, Mr. Little.
So Mr. Bernowski would love to be here. His son actually is graduating from the military this weekend, so he's down at Fort Benning. He's traveling back tonight, so I have Greg and Ken out here for any support, but we'll start with water distribution. So the first thing is Akron PWS Regionalization Project. That's Akron, that's public water systems. This project will provide water service connections on connecting. PWS is currently fronting active Akron Water PWS water mains and adding new customers, and then also working with the EPA to eliminate these public water systems. The Archwood pump station improvements, it's updating pump stations and adding a second pump. Full electric upgrades, replacing the roof, doors, adding a backup generator, reconfigure incoming pipes for both pumps to feed the high service lines. Customer meter replacement with advanced metering. It's to replace the 85,000 residential, commercial, and industrial meters within the Akron water distribution system with more technology advanced meters to improve customer service and water operations. Home Avenue Utility Bridge over the Little Cauga River. Design and construct a utility bridge over the Little Cauga River near the intersection of Home and North Arlington Street to support a 12-inch water main and 2 large communication fiber optic cables. Kenmore Boulevard, 28th Street water main connection. It's to bore 280 feet of 8 or 12-inch water main under the railroad tracks at 28th Street and Kenmore Boulevard. It's to replace the existing failing connection and improve circulation and increase fire flow availability in the area on both sides of the tracks. Lead service, water replacement program, replace lead services between the water main and the customer's property line, and then reduce the number of homes served through lead services. The NSSM North Summit Supply Darrow Road Water Main Extension to avoid conflicts with ODOT at the intersection of Darrow Road and Hudson, and to extend the 16-inch water main 3,000 feet between Herrick Park Drive and Middleton Road. Water distribution vehicle and equipment replacement. It's to purchase and replace motor vehicle, machinery, and equipment as necessary. Water storage tank assessment management program, the long-term continuous full-service maintenance and asset management program of city-owned water storage tanks, including engineering, professional management, inspection, rehab, repairs, washout, etc. Water main replacement program 2019, that's our annual program to replace water mains, improve system reliability of operation, increase pressure and flow, and improve water quality. West High pumping station replacement. This station was constructed in 1918. Although the pumping equipment is operating adequately, the building foundation is failing structurally and is in need of replacement. The West Side transmission main lining. This is to rehabilitate 6,200 feet of 36-inch PCCP water main and trenchless non-invasive technique that may include SIPP, spray and place lining, clean, camera, and coat.
Very good. Any questions? Reference water distribution? I have a couple quick ones.
Sure.
So how are we looking on, in terms of a timeline on the meter replacement?
We've actually picked a contractor, so we're in negotiation with them currently on pricing. So we had a couple different options that we're negotiating with them. So we look to start that probably early summer.
Okay.
So we're looking at an area of the town, of the city, and we're looking maybe North Hill, because that could be tied in with the NSI, the north, the tunnel up on North Hill. So we have to get in those homes to do an assessment, so we may start there.
Okay. And I don't recall if we had a nice presentation for council.
We are going to bring you something soon as we nail down what we're going to do with them.
Okay.
So we're in negotiations now, and then we're going to bring it to you of what the whole program will be.
Okay, very good. I didn't think we'd pass anything
No,
just yet.
no,
Not to
we haven't
award-
brought anything
We
to
haven't
you.
awarded it? Or-
No, nothing.
Okay, didn't think so, wasn't entirely sure. the lead service line replacement program, do you have like a feel or an approximate in terms of like how many lines in the city altogether and how many have been done?
Sure.
I know we're
We have a
much
very
better than most cities out
Exactly.
there.
We have a very good website on our city's website that shows where they are. Everyone's identified, if your home has one or not. And the city of Akron's been very proactive since the 60s. If you got your side replaced, in other words, from the devil strip or lawn strip into your house, which was galvanized, then we come out and we did the part in the street. And also with the CSO program, if we're doing a project where we're actually, we're gonna remove pavement or remove asphalt, we've gone in and we've replaced those. So we have about 94,000 service lines, okay? So that's from the main to the lawn strip. We only have 4,500 lead services out of those 94,000. So we're trying to do, with this program, we'll probably do 200, but if we do a separation project up on North Hill in lie of a tunnel, we'll knock out a lot more. Okay. So what they've done recently with the increased money that we have from IT4 with resurfacing, they've worked very closely, so the resurfacing program will look and they will work with water and says, okay, this street has 15 on them. So they will go in and target that street before they resurface it. Does that happen every time? No, we're gonna miss one or two here, but we've been very proactive.
I get, obviously residential will be a higher priority, but what about on the commercial side? Is there anything?
I mean, we upgrade those too, but they don't seem, it's mostly all residential.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, like I said, obviously that'd be a priority, but.
yes.
Just curious. Very good, thank you. And then we can go into the water plant. Oh, sure, Ms. Mobian.
Just going back to the meter replacement,
Yes.
the 85,000, we have what, about, is it 90,000?
We have 94,000 in our system, yes.
94.
Oh, no, 94, we have 94,000 services, okay? So in other words, in our whole distribution system, but we have 85,000 meters we're targeting to replace.
And that's my question.
Yes.
How do we go about determining? Is it based on the age of the ones that they have?
The meters?
Yeah.
We're changing them all.
We're going to change all 94,000?
85,000 meters
Oh, that's how many meters we have
Yes.
in Akron.
in Akron, yes.
So what's the 94,000?
That's the line from the street to the property line.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that many services, but not all of those are connected to a meter,
I see.
okay?
Okay. So all of the meters are going to be
All the meters are
replaced.
going to get upgraded.
And you plan to do that over,
It's probably going to take 18 months to 2 years,
okay.
yes.
And my other question has to do with water main
Yes.
replacement program. And now I notice, because I do look at my telephone sometimes, that we seem to have a water main break almost every week. Is that,
I wish it was only every week.
is it every day almost?
There's a lot.
I know it's a lot.
There's a lot.
So when you do repair those,
Yes.
what do? Do you do something beyond the break? to
Typically, all we do is we excavate and repair that section.
Just that
So in
section?
our water main replacement, we identify, we keep track of every water main break.
Okay,
Then we prioritize, says, okay, we've got this section of pipe on this street that's had 15 breaks in the last 15 years. We target to replace that water main. We have over 1,200 miles of water main,
okay.
okay? To upgrade our whole system would be hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I know you told us that before. Now, I was just curious, so you estimate what you would need to do a replacement based on history?
Well, based
Or-
on what our budget allows,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay, I was just curious, because I know that we get a lot of those notifications, and they're repaired
Yes.
by the middle of the day or something. So it doesn't take that long to repair them?
Typically, they're repaired within that day.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes, if we have 3 or 4 in a day, they won't all get replaced that day or repaired. They may leak for a few days. We don't have anybody without water,
Okay,
okay?
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions? Okay, water plant?
Okay, water plant. AWIA Risk and Resilient Assessment. This project is to conduct a risk and resilient assessment developed to update the emergency response plan and certify completion of the U.S. EPA prior to the established deadline in accordance with the America's Water Infrastructure Act of 2018. Caustic day tank and metering pump replacement. This project will replace the caustic day tanks and metering pumps due to old, outdated parts and wear on the tanks from chemical, and this is a carryover from last year. Discharge header surge valve automation. This project shall install automated valve control on the high service pump discharge headers, including 4 surge relief valves and 3 butterfly valves. Enhanced raw water pretreatment facility. This project shall construct a new raw water pretreatment facility at the current raw water intake to more efficiently respond to the detection of toxins in the raw water source. It's intended to include the feed of liquid permanganate and PAC, powder activated carbon. Filtration building filter sweep replacement of backwash filter sweeps in all 25 filters. Filtration building roof replacement, replace the existing roof building, including gutters, downspouts, fascia, vent caps, and standing seam metal roof system. Filtration building window replacement, replace existing filter building windows throughout operating floor area, phase 1, east and south sides. Filtration building pipe gallery moisture control. This project shall make repairs to existing settled and clear water conduits and provide concrete waterproofing to reduce leakage and prevent further deterioration. Filtration building ventilation improvements. This project shall upgrade the existing ventilation system to properly ventilate the filter gallery to control temperature, humidity, and chemical fumes, and this is a carryover. The lab HVAC upgrades. This project shall upgrade the existing HVAC system inside the lab due to the current HVAC system being outdated, unserviceable, and no longer supported. The low lift building 5 kV feeder relocation. This project shall replace and relocate the existing 5K aerial feeder to an underground conduit system between the head house and the low lift building to eliminate the overhead obstruction. Low lift operating plan, develop and operate procedures to operate the plant during low reservoir levels less than 1049. Miscellaneous plant improvements. This is an annual reoccurring miscellaneous improvements as necessary to support the water supply operation. Water plant roof replacement, replace the existing roof on the caustic fluoride garage buildings, and to repair the stone coping. Miscellaneous safety improvements as necessary to support the water supply operations. Water plant security fence improvements, to replace the existing security fence along the frontage abutting Ravenna Road, reconfigure fence near the East Drive and easier truck access. This was a carryover also. Water plant vehicle and equipment replacement, our annual purchase of motor vehicles, equipment, and machinery to support the Akron water operations. You want to do questions or you want to go on, just finish?
Go ahead, just go ahead.
Watershed. East Branch Dam improvements. This project shall construct improvements at the East Branch Dam location to maintain structural integrity of the dam structures per the master plan. It will complete drainage improvements at the front of the dam in order to effectively move water over the dam and maintain its integrity. Eckerd Ditch property acquisition and restoration project. It's to restore sections of Eckerd Ditch to treat invasive species in the wetland system. The project will purchase, preserve, and restore approximately 38 acres of land in Portage County within the Cauga River watershed. Eckerd Ditch water quality improvements, stream bank, restoration and improve education outreach initiative to improve water quality in Eckerd Ditch. And then the watershed master plan update the master plan to incorporate the new census data, land use, and update maps.
Very good, thank you. Any questions? The one thing I'd like to request, and I don't know if you've already set this up or thought about it, but perhaps a tour of the plant and the shed, watershed.
Yes,
for
I was
council.
going to say that, Jeff wanted me to mention that he would like to do that. He would pick you guys up here. He's thinking if you picked a day during the week, if you wanted to start like at 8:30, he would pick you up here, and then he could provide lunch and probably have you back here by 1:30. So whoever want to go, if you get together collectively, we'd love to bring you up, but to show you, you know,
It's hard
the
to-
plant and everything else, it is a lot.
Pictures cannot do it justice.
No,
for
it does
sure.
not do it
And how
justice.
much goes into it, I think everybody would have a greater respect in terms of how we get that water here into town to your tap. And that's pretty important stuff. Obviously, I see Mr. Swirsky, then Mr. Lombardo.
Oh, just, you mentioned the previous slide, with Eckerd Ditch, education efforts, outreach initiatives. Could you explain those a little bit?
Sure.
Those are.
We're applying for a grant with this agreement, but we partner with Akron U on the education. So we've done some work with the university where they'll come up and they'll help us with the research on the Eckerd Ditch. So what they're doing up there is we're taking some of the acquisition up there. It's what we did a couple years ago. There was a trailer park that was on septic, okay, a failing septic system, and they weren't going to upgrade it. So we actually went in, we bought the land. The trailer park basically moved out, and there was a few trailers there. We bought the land, we removed the trailers, we demoed the septic system, and now we own the land. No one will also have to be able to go back in there and put another trailer park or put another building, because there's no sewer available to eliminate the septic.
So that's the public education?
Well, the public education we do is with the, was with the Eckerd Ditch quality improvements. So we do the stream restoration, the bank restoration, and the public education is what we do with the Eckerd Ditch quality improvements.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes, Mr. Luddle. In regards to the water plant vehicle and equipment replacement,
Yes.
the $185,000, how many vehicles will that purchase? And the vehicles that are purchased, are they replacing or adding to our fleet?
Typically, we replace. So when we decommission something, we typically churn something in, okay? And then it goes to auction, or just, unfortunately, some of them are so bad they go to scrap, okay? When you see holes in the floor, they're that bad.
And approximately how many vehicles do we have in our fleet right now?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
But I could tell you, like in water distribution, we need a new loader, okay, for the operation of repairing water mains and loading material. So the loader itself's $180,000, one loader.
Okay, very good. Mr. Mobian?
It's on page 18. Oh, yes. Well, like a cyber attack. What would we do in a case of a cyber attack? What would we do for backup? If we could not do with electronic controls, you know, could we do it manually? Could we operate valves manually? If there was a train derailment, there's a train up there near us. If there's a train derailment, how would we handle it to keep anything from going into our watershed? A truck tipped over, okay? What would happen? You know, how would we mitigate that risk? So that's what these are for. Yes, they have it, but then they keep updating it. One of them's weather, okay? In a severe drought, what would we do? Even though we have 10 billion gallons in a severe drought, sometimes our watershed gets dangerously low. What would we do? Could we open more water up to feed the watershed? It would be public education. I mean, it would be, I've seen things where they'll go to residents and say, we need to conserve water. Don't wash your car. Don't irrigate. And there's people that, and I know we probably don't because our sewer rates are so high, but you know, it's like saying, don't use the toilet for a trash can. Don't throw your Kleenexes in there and then flush because you're wasting water, okay? Those are the kind of things that I've seen in other parts of the country that they put out to conserve water. So those are the kinds of things we look at.
And a lot of us who've been around for a little while know that we have had, since the beginning, however long ago that was, invested a lot of money protecting this watershed.
Yes.
And this resource that we have, and you know, continuously looking at ways to make sure that it is protected and we can use this. With that, any further questions, comments? Next week, pursuant to the charter, I believe February 10th is our next meeting. We have to pass it by the 15th of February, so therefore, next week, I'm going to ask the committee to go ahead and make a favorable recommendation in reference to the capital budget. And so, throughout this week, if there's questions or comments that anyone has, they can feel free to contact me or perhaps even Helen Tomic in reference to any questions or comments that one may have. If there's nothing else, I would just like to thank Ms. Hannah here. Great job, even though you had a bit of a sore throat, we could tell. Hopefully you're going to get better. No other questions or comments? Then very good. We're adjourned. Thank you all, and thank you for all your time and effort. Appreciate all you guys coming down and what you do every day to protect the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.